Johnston Sakaja, the governor of Nairobi, attended a church service that was also attended by Gachagua and by Aladwa and by Eugene Wamalwa and Kalonzo Musyoka. And when the names were being mentioned, as Ole Sapit was recognizing members, these leaders who were there present, because they were not allowed to speak. And as you all know why they were not allowed to speak, I think we all know why they were not allowed to speak. Ole Sapit has been standing his ground that he doesn't want politicians to speak in the church. Ole Sapit is the head of the Anglican Church in Kenya. They were not allowed to speak, but something happened that all the other leaders were cheered, but when it came to Sakaja, he was booed. Remember, this happened in Nairobi. He was booed. We want to look at all the reasons as to why Sakaja was booed and all the other leaders were not booed. We want to look at all the possibility. But before we go into the details of all the possibilities and we look at all the details, if you are new to this platform and you have come here to for the first time, I want you to take a second to subscribe and to hit the notification bell so that anytime I post a video, you will always be the first to watch. So kindly hit the subscription button and the notification bell, and kama kawaida, I'll be back. Yes guys, thank you so much for those who have subscribed. I really appreciate you, because you are building a community and you are part of that community. We are working together. So guys, as I said, that Sakaja was booed, well, other leaders that I've mentioned were not booed, they were cheered, despite the fact that they were not given a chance to speak, which I believe when they went to that church, they knew very well that Sapit is not going to give them a chance to speak. Because the Catholic community and the Anglican community have been very firm that they don't want politics on their pulpits, which is okay. I think this is a good approach, and I wish other churches could have taken this approach. We don't need politicians in our churches. And you know, politicians are fond of churches. Why? Because that is where they get crowds. You know, churches is a platform where at least you get free audience. And in a church, people are very obedient. People don't shout in the churches, don't heckle, don't do all those sorts of things. That's why politicians love churches, because they will get free audience, an audience that will listen to them and everything. But unfortunately, some leaders have gone to churches and they have used pulpit to say some very derogatory words, and some used very they have used very bad language on the pulpit. So this is what has angered Kenyans, and Kenyans are even coming out to call up some of these church leaders for allowing these people. And now some churches are taking actions. Other churches are still not taking actions, but I believe as time goes by, they will also follow suit, because Kenyans are serious about this thing. They don't need politics in church. It will reach a time when leaders will be, when members of the churches will be walking out on leaders in the church. This happened even to Kimani Chungwa at some point, and it has happened to so many other leaders. So this is something is going to happen, because it will reach a point whereby after the service, the moment you call up a politician to speak, people walk out. Now let's go back to Sakaja. Sakaja being booed in Nairobi. What does that statement make? And you know, church is a neutral place. These are people that you have not mobilized. You know, some of these politicians, whenever they go out in rallies and this campaign that they go out, some of these people that surround them and some of these people that cheer them are people who have been mobilized. So there are people who have been paid to come and cheer the person that made the Sakaja or any other politician. So it's a normal thing that they mobilize. But when you come to a church, this is a neutral ground. These are the people that you have not mobilized. They don't know you. Where we may attend to Kawapata. So when they come to a point whereby they are booing you and they are cheering other leaders, what does that send a message? Does it send what does that ring a bell in the heads of Sakaja and everything? The fact that can only send one crucial message, that people in Nairobi are not happy with Sakaja. They are not happy with his style of leadership. They are not happy with this with the way he's doing things in Nairobi. And now they are showing their frustrations openly by booing him and by shutting him down and everything. So these are some of the things that Sakaja should learn. Now, if we look at all the reasons as to why people have lost interest in Sakaja, when Sakaja was standing for governorship in Nairobi, he was the darling of the people. People loved the dimples, especially the ladies. They are saying that if for any other reason they are going to vote for Sakaja because akona dimples, akona nini. And for me, I felt like that is a very lame reason to vote for someone. You can't vote for someone because akona dimples. You get? You can't vote for someone because akona dimples. But ladies are just ladies. So most of them went to the ballot to vote for Sakaja simply because he had dimples. They did not. They overlooked some things, like this guy came up with a fake degree, and like a degree that wasn't like I recognized anywhere, and he was na akaenda akasimama kiti. They overlooked some very crucial things that they ought to have seen before they voted for him in 2027 in 2022. And now the guy has proved to be very incompetent. That is the reality. The guy has proved to be very incompetent, and he cannot handle a city as big as Nairobi. Nairobi, he keeps on saying that Nairobi lazima work, but Nairobi has not worked. Things have not been working in Nairobi. You can see the drainage. When it rains in Nairobi, it's like we are in a lake. Cars are not moving, cars zinakuwa submerged and everything. So Nairobi, Sakaja as a governor has totally failed. So these are some of the things that people are now coming up and saying, no, this man is not good, this man is not competent, this man cannot deliver in Nairobi. And now they are calling him for his. You get? And you know, this church service happened immediately after his tour with the president in Nairobi, where they went around promising people 1 million chapatis and a machine that can produce 1 million chapatis. In a country where we feel like, in a country where, not even a country, in a city where this is the capital city, this is the hub of East Africa, you're supposed to be talking about important things. And then you just come like it's someone like you are a joker or a clown. You are telling us how you are going to give people this kind of chapatis. Yet our transport system is in a mess. And some people who have captured it so well, you could hear Boni Alwale speaking all this in parliament. And maybe let me just give you that sound here, that sound bite of, and then we'll come back. Just listen to that sound bite, and then I'm going to come back.
I want to address our good governor of Nairobi. I can see you have totally lost focus. The purpose of the governor of Nairobi is not to feed people. The purpose of the county government of Nairobi is to open up the economy of Nairobi. Mr. Speaker, the governor of Nairobi should not be talking about chapatis. He should be talking about underpasses, overpasses, metros. That is the future. The people you will employ in those areas I've mentioned will feed their children. So when I see him talking about chapatis, I say, this thing of saying that the youth should ascend into leadership is a lie. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So you can listen to that. You've listened to Boni Halwale on that soundbite akisema exactly what he thinks about all this. Because the Nairobians don't consider Sakaja as someone very serious. They consider him as a joker. Because some of the things that he has been doing doesn't really make sense, doesn't really portray him as someone who is serious, who can seriously work for Nairobi. So many things have been failing. The health sector in Nairobi has been failing. People have been on strike and everything. Right now, if you go to some very crucial hospitals in this county, people are on strike because they have not been paid and everything. And then you remember that mess again that he had with the Kenya Power, whereby you took alichukua takataka, some very smelling nini akaenda kamwaga mbele Stima Sacco, Stima offices, Stima Plaza. You make sure you unafanya Nairobi na nuka because of his approach. Yani some of his approaches have been so much terrible. And then another thing that might have cost him pia is the fact that he has tried to push the hawkers from the CBD all the way to downtown huko chini. You get? That has not also sat well with some of the hawkers. For me, it's a good thing because pia Nairobi CBD imekuwa a bit chaotic with these people all over. You know, when he came, he said no, nyinyi fanyeni biashara, nyinyi ingieni place yote, bora unaweza fanya biashara. And remember that time Nairobi was just in a mess. Everywhere you walk there were hawkers around, vitu zimepangwa kwa barabara kila mahali. And I think maybe that approach has not worked, and now he wants to push them down. You see, that's the problem with these leaders. You come up with something that is a populist idea to make people happy, and then knowing very well that that approach can't work, and then later you turn. When you turn against them, these people see you as a traitor because you allowed us to work here, and then now you are pushing us down huko chini. So what do you want us to do? And now you become again an enemy of the people. That's why it's always good to stand with your ground. If something is not good, just say that no, this approach is not good, but we are going to sit down, we are going to see through how we are going to work so that kila mtu akue happy. Another reason was why, remember when he wanted to remove people from Marikiti, awapeleke all down to that Kagundo market, which is something that has always been in the pipeline even during Uhuru's time. It has always been in the pipeline. But that fact alone, because many people don't want, hawataki kutoka hapo because that's where most of their businesses is. So that approach made him very unpopular, and even walifanya waka clash with Gachagua when Gachagua was the deputy president. So Sakaja has been a victim of coming up with ideas that are not popular with the people, and now he's suffering the consequences for it. As to whether he will be back as the governor of Nairobi or not, that is very clear, and I'll say it here for those people, for the avoidance of doubt. There is no governor in Nairobi that will ever go for 2 terms. I want you to listen to me very, very clear. No governor in Nairobi will ever go for 2 terms. And if there'll be a governor who will ever go for 2 terms, you must be a very, very extraordinary governor. That is the reality. And it's because of the political dynamics in Nairobi. In Nairobi, number one, the political dynamics and the tribal realignment in Nairobi cannot favor you. If at all it favors you once, it cannot favor you the second time. Number 2, there are so many interested parties in Nairobi when it comes to politics and when it comes to that position of the governor, because of the amount of money the person who becomes the governor in Nairobi controls. There's a lot of interest from the president, from the executive. There's a lot of interest in Nairobi from the investors. There's a lot of interest from the outsiders in Nairobi. There's a lot of interest from the business communities in Nairobi. There's a lot of interest from so many sectors in Nairobi, the Matatu sector, the Nini sector. There are so many, the Juakali sectors. There are so many sectors in Nairobi that have that political interest in that seat of the governor. So, and pleasing these people, making sure that you serve all these people and you serve their interest well for them to stand with you, it's very, very, very hard. That is why we will always have a new person in that office, because whoever will always be the incumbent will always be seen as a failure. You remember it started with Kidero. Kidero went for 1 term and he went home. Then it came Sonko. Sonko did not even finish his term and then he went home. Another person that is now Nini Sakaja. Look at how people are saying it's just hardly 2 years. 2 years are down, and now everyone is saying that Sakaja has failed, Sakaja has done this, Sakaja has done this, now Sakaja will go home. So the political dynamics in Nairobi will never allow anybody to go for 2 terms. So if you are planning to go for the governorship of Nairobi, my friend, the reality, you will not be popular beyond Nini. Because if you touch one sector and you do it very well, you affect another sector. A good example, ukijaribu kupanga the matatu sector in Nairobi so that kusikuwe na congestion and everything, you get, then the people in the you will be pleasing the Nairobians, because they'll be saying, Nairobi, the matatu sector is now organized, but the matatu sector owners and businesses and the makangas and everything will be unhappy with you, because you'll be denying them places whereby they can make a lot of money. And some of the things, if you deny them from kuingia CBD, which is something that Sonko tried and it failed terribly, then you'll be denying them access to their source of income, because they feel like it's only when they get to CBD that's when they can make money. And those people who are commuting and coming to Nairobi, ikisema tuwaeke away from Nairobi atuwatembee to CBD, that is also a problem. So there are so many people that it's so hard to please. And there are so many things that is so hard to do in Nairobi, to a point whereby you feel like it's so hard to even come back for a second term. So if I was Sakaja, Sakaja knows this. If I was Sakaja very well, you should have known this, and ujipange ukijua you're not coming back. So maybe if you are going to go for another seat, well and good. Another thing is that people are now seeing him. People, there's that wave of now, like Sonko, not Sonko, of Babu Owino going for that seat, and now people are trying to compare him with Babu Owino, and Sakaja noticed this very well, and he wanted, and now he has started like making that. You can see now his bromance with ODM and with Raila is now accompanying Raila in everything, because Sakaja feels like, no, I need to hold on to Raila if I want to retain my seat. But if Sakaja is if Sakaja can listen to this video, holding on to Raila will not help you, because again people are seeing Raila as someone who has betrayed Babu. Babu is someone who has stood with him. So many people who support Raila are saying that ikikuja hapa kwa Sakaja, naye no, we will vote for Babu Owino. Some are making it very very clear that as long as, maybe as much as I support Baba, but I'm not going to vote for Sakaja. The same way, remember even last time people were saying that, hey, mimi niko Azimio, lakini ikifika hapa kwa governorship ya Nairobi mimi nitavotia Sakaja. Some people who are clearly in Azimio but said they are going to vote for Sakaja. So that is what is also happening now. You see, that is what is happening now. They are saying clearly that no, we are not going to vote for Sakaja, after even if Baba endorses him for the governorship, which Raila has already done that. But now they are coming out clearly to say no, we are not going to do that. They are shifting their allegiance to Babu Owino. This is what I like to tell Babu Owino as a wind up. Babu Owino, wherever you are, if you are listening to this, do not go for the Nairobi governorship. If you ever have an aspiration to be the president of this country, Nairobi governorship is where you go to finish your political career. Do not go for that seat. Do not go for that seat. Drop that bid, that of going for that seat, because you will not come out clean. That is the reality. For Nairobi governorship, you will never come out clean. The politics in Nairobi, trust you me, you will be fighting a lot of people, and there will be a lot of false information and everything, that at the end of the day, you will not come out clean. So if you are someone who listens to me, do not go for that seat. Avoid that seat completely. Go for another seat. Even if it's going for the president, go for the president. Because right now, we just need someone who is strong enough who can challenge the president in 2027. So go for that seat. You might not win it, but you will send a statement and you will elevate your political status to another level. But going for the governorship, you will go 1 year. In the second year, you will be hated by everybody. That is the reality. Because pleasing Nairobians is not easy because of the interests, so many interests that I've mentioned here. So guys, thank you so much. That was it from me. You can give your reasons as to why you feel like Sakaja has become so much unpopular in Nairobi, and the reason as to why you feel like he cannot come back again. I've given my reasons. I might be right, I might be wrong, but at the end of the day, as we always say, everyone is entitled to his opinion. So share yours in the comment section. Let us engage, and as I always say, let us remain respectful and objective. Hapana tukana watu. Don't use derogatory words or insults to send your point. Until next time, thank you so much. Bye.